Hi there, my name's Chris Cann with Mining Journal, and I'm at Mining Journal Select in London. With me I have Ingo Hofmaier, who is with Lifezone Metals, which is focused on the Kabanga nickel project in Tanzania. Hi Ingo.
Hi Chris.
Really interested to understand about your approach at Kabanga, because obviously it's a project that would be very well known to a lot of people in the industry. A lot of groups have had a go at it unsuccessfully. What makes this time different?
Yeah, so yes, the asset was found in the 1970s, so there's a lot of history there. That also means it's well understood. More than 600,000 meters of drilling has been conducted, mostly by predecessor organizations. We acquired the asset in 2019 from Barrick and from Glencore. And Glencore and Barrick spent probably the most money and time on the asset. So they produced a full feasibility study in 2014 that they also released. But that didn't progress in 2015 because Glencore ran into financial difficulties. So it wasn't related to the asset, it wasn't related to Tanzania. And then a couple of years later, when the project was in care and maintenance by Glencore, ultimately President Magufuli in Tanzania created a seismic event through African Barrick, and then blocked this event blocked the development for a couple of years, and ultimately meant that Barrick decided to dispose of the asset, and we acquired it. So it was never about the asset quality. It's the undisputed crown jewel in the East African nickel belt.
Okay, and you've touched on the obvious, the elephant in the room there in terms of the potential sovereign risk element operating in Tanzania. The government did have a bit of an embarrassing moment there. Things, from my understanding, have turned around a little bit. Can you give us an understanding of what it's like to work in the country now, and then what should give investors confidence that there's stability to come?
Yeah, so first of all, there's a lot of mineral endowment in Tanzania. The Tanzanian government and, of course, the nation knows that. It was a very investable country for a long, long period of time. When I joined mining, Tanzania was considered one of the best countries to build a mine in the whole of Africa. And during that period of time, many mines got built. Diamond mines got built, gold mines, of course, got built, small and big, and other mines got built. So it has a very significant mining has a significant contribution to the industry. I would say certain larger players abused the situation to a certain degree, and then there was a backlash in Tanzania that ultimately ended up Barrick having to renegotiate its arrangement with the government. We are through that phase now, and I think we are on the other side of it. There was a very short period of uncertainty, and you can see it now. I mean, mining companies have recently been sold, new projects have been financed, the existing projects are all operating again. There's a new arrangement with the government, so the government has taken in the larger operators as well as the bigger project a 16% stake. But you also get some stability for it, and you get a country that delivers infrastructure. So in our particular case, we recently got connected to the grid. We have a special mining license, which we received 2 years after acquiring the deposit from Barrick and Glencore. So things are really, in our opinion, things are moving in the right direction, no question. Yeah.
And the management team at Lifezone, it's a heavyweight management team, a lot of experience, a lot of specific experience that's relevant. Can you take us through some of the key people, including yourself obviously, in that team, and how useful are those relationships and that experience when you're working in a scenario that you've just described, negotiating deals with a government in Tanzania?
So our founder, Keith Liddell, has been in the industry, is very well known as an entrepreneur, but also as a hydrometallurgist. He ran Mintec in South Africa. And this is also the genesis of the company. We were not an exploration company, we are a hydrometallurgist or a processing technology-driven company. And Barrick approached us because we had the technology to do the in-country beneficiation, in this case refining in Tanzania. So Keith is the founder, he is the chairman today, he has a significant influence in the day-to-day running with this kind of expertise. He's also our biggest shareholder. And then on the management team, you have Mike Adams, who is our chief technology officer. He worked with Keith over the last 30 years, a very accomplished processing engineer. He looks after the development of the flow sheet and everything technology-wise. And then on the executive side, there's 3 more key people. Chris Showalter, our CEO, he spent an enormous amount of time in Africa particularly in East Africa, also during the COVID time when, so to say, the government relationships had to be developed. So a lot of the groundwork was done by him to get us where we are today in terms of Kabanga. And then there's Garrick Mouton, who is ex-Ivanhoe, a South African national, who is a mine builder, engineer, after Ivanhoe he joined us and is responsible for everything project-related and operationally related, which is critical now going into the feasibility study. And I joined, so Garrick, Chris and I, we are roughly the same age. Very good team spirit, get stuff done. And I joined roughly a year ago before we listed as the CFO.
Okay, and looking at what's to come for Lifezone, you mentioned the feasibility study. Obviously, it's a mature asset, as we've discussed. A lot of work has been done. What are some of the catalysts and some of the milestones that you're looking to tick off as we get into the back of this year, and then potentially looking out to 2025 as well?
So we were in the fortunate position to get a lot of mining data from Barrick and from Glencore, so we have used that. We then we introduced BHP in 2022, so during 2022-23 we received $90 million from them that funded the feasibility study. We're at the final stages now of that. We should be able to release the feasibility study in the third quarter of this year, so that's a major milestone. At the same time, we are working on the offtake financing, which basically means under the agreement with BHP has an option to go up to 60%. We would remain at a 40% junior partner. We have 40% of our offtake, so we are trying to monetize that 40% currently. And then we have a second leg, which is not a mining asset per se, it's the application of hydrometallurgy to recycling. That's a project that is funded by us and by Glencore and is going to be located in the US. So also there we will have a feasibility study later this year. So there's some big milestones coming.
Okay, and this is your first Mining Journal Select conference. We're at the end of day 2. You've sat in hopefully on enough content, enough of the panels and the pictures. Any takeaways or even conversations you've had on the sidelines for you after the last couple of days?
I mean, first of all, it was quite nice. So I came in 2010 to London via Rio Tinto. Tom Albanese did the introduction for my presentation yesterday, so it was good to see a couple of people. Rick Rule is very present here. He's a recent investor into Lifezone, and then just a good selection of investors that we would expect to see at a conference like this.
Ingo, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you, mate. Thanks.